It takes courage to challenge the system, especially when that system despises your skin color. Andre Miller, 38 years old, one of New York's most renowned defense attorneys. Successful, influential, charismatic. For years, he fought to shield underprivileged black youth from being crushed by the legal machine. But today, he stands in the heart of that same machine, face to face with Senator Richard Kane, white, wealthy, powerful, and corrupt. The atmosphere shifts the moment Andre walks into the courtroom. The press, the jury, Kane's supporters, all in place. Andre focuses solely on the files in his hands. Silence falls. Your Honor, members of the jury. These records clearly show that Senator Kane funneled public funds into shell companies connected to his allies. What we have here isn't an error. It's a systematic chain of corruption. Kane's jaw tightens. From his seat, he mutters with icy calm. You're going to pay for this, Miller. I'll turn this courtroom into your grave. Andre simply turns his head and locks eyes with him. He says nothing, because sometimes, a single look can speak louder than an entire case. After the hearing, Andre stands on the courthouse steps, surrounded by a swarm of reporters. Questions fly. Microphones crowd his face. Mr. Miller, aren't you afraid to bring such serious accusations against a sitting senator? I only stand for the truth, and the truth has always been the most powerful force. Meanwhile, Kane steps into his limousine and leans toward his advisor, speaking in a chilling whisper. It's time. We're not just ending his career, we're ending his life. And at that moment, one question lingers in the audience's mind. Will truth prevail, or will the system claim another victim? Social media ignited within the hour. So he's just like the rest of them. He went after Kane to hide his own mess. Classic misdirection. Even supposed victims from past cases surfaced, giving interviews. He tried to buy my silence. I should have spoken up sooner. That guy's always been shady. As Andre leaned his head against the cold wall of a holding cell, he whispered to himself, when you fight the system, they don't cleanse you. They cover you in dirt. And now, the system wasn't just discrediting him. It was preparing to erase him. The scent of fresh coffee still lingered in the air when the door burst open. 4 FBI agents in dark suits stormed in. Behind them, an assistant prosecutor and a cameraman, ready to capture a fall from grace. Andre Miller, you are under arrest for corruption, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Andre stood up, his expression composed, but the disbelief in his eyes was undeniable. Is this a joke? Based on what evidence? What are you talking about? One of the agents pulled out a pair of cuffs and rolled his eyes. Don't act surprised. Every hero wears a mask. Yours just came off. As Andre was escorted out, a sea of reporters swarmed the building. Just yesterday, the media called him the voice of justice. Today, he walked beneath headlines soaked in scandal. Bribery scandal. The attorney who challenged Kane has a dirty past. Authorities claimed they had uncovered hidden bank accounts, cash transfers, and deleted messages from Andre's office, home, and car. Mysteriously, it all leaked to the press. The room was silent, but charged with menace. A single light beamed down on Andre's face. Across the table sat 2 detectives, both white, both calm like men who already knew how the game would end. Detective Raines placed a thick file on the table and stared directly into Andre's eyes. You tried to drag a powerful white man into court. That's not bravery, that's arrogance. And arrogant men? They fall hard. Andre remained silent. His eyes burned, but his lips held back the scream in his throat. The younger detective leaned forward, a smirk playing on his lips. The bank statements? That payment-approved email? We didn't write those. You did. Or maybe you're so clever you tricked yourself into believing you didn't. Andre clenched his fists. Those documents are fake. Someone planted them. Raines chuckled and leaned in close. Oh, right. The conspiracy theory card. Classic. Commit a crime, then cry set up. What do you want? Sympathy. Andre slowly raised his head. I'm not guilty, but I get it now. I'm dangerous to people like you. Raines scoffed. People like you don't fear the system. That's why the system strangles you. Watch this. He slid a CD across the table. On the label, evidence footage. It showed incriminating files being placed onto Andre's laptop. Every detail, every timestamp, forged to perfection. Andre's voice cracked as he whispered, "This was planned. Kane did this." But the detectives were already sipping their coffee, and Andre sat there, haunted by a new thought. What if this isn't a setup? What if I really made a mistake? The seed of doubt was planted, and the audience, Hooked. The courtroom was packed, but no one had come to hear the truth. They came to witness Andre Miller fall. The stares weren't curious, they were cold, judgmental. The camera lenses weren't seeking facts, they were aimed at scandal. Andre stood alone at the defense table. No robe, no authority, just a man wearing the shadow of accusation. Judge Mary Whitmore, silver-haired, sharp-featured, and miles from impartial, leaned forward and began, "Today's session isn't just about charges. It's about trust. Trust broken by those who claim to defend justice. Let this be a reminder. No one, not even a lawyer, stands above the law." The prosecutor lifted a thick folder, voice steady, but motives foggy. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, a $150,000 deposit was traced to the defendant's bank account. The source? A known political opponent of Senator Richard Kane." Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Andre's face went pale, but his eyes still burned. "This is a setup. I don't even know that man." The prosecutor didn't flinch. "Additionally, a new witness has come forward regarding the 2019 Jackson case, claiming the defendant pressured a victim to stay silent." The jury scribbled notes. The witness took the stand. Shifty-eyed, unconvincing, but poisonous enough. "He told me, stay quiet. It'll be better for you." Andre shook his head slowly. A numbness crept into his expression, like he'd been hit in the gut. Even his own attorney struggled to keep his voice firm. "Your Honor, these claims surfaced years later. They're vague, unsupported. There is no evidence. My client is a fighter for justice, not a criminal mastermind." But the judge peered over her glasses with an icy glare. A man with a murky past invites present scrutiny, especially when public trust is on the line. And at that moment, Andre thought, what hurts more than the lies is that I can't silence them with the truth. Everyone in that room had already made up their minds. Everyone, except Andre. Because one question kept whispering in his head. What if it's not me? What if I'm not the enemy, but the target? And now, that question was whispering in the audience's ears too. The tension in the courtroom was razor sharp. Everyone had shown up not to seek justice, but to watch Andre Miller's final breath in court. The media was ready, the jury was silent, and the judge sat cold behind her bench. But this time, all eyes turned not to Andre, but to Maya, his young intern. She stood clutching a small USB drive. Her voice trembled, but her steps didn't. "Your Honor, I've obtained security camera footage from inside Senator Kane's office. What you're about to see could change the entire outcome of this trial." Judge Whitmore frowned, clearly irritated. But she nodded. "Play the footage. Use our time wisely." The screen came to life. Time, 12:47 a.m. Kane's top advisor enters the office, inserts a USB drive into Andre's computer. Senator Kane follows him in, watching the screen. Fake bank transactions and emails are planted, live on the feed. A gasp swept across the courtroom. The prosecutor sank into his chair. The officers lowered their heads. The jury stopped taking notes. Judge Whitmore slowly removed her glasses. Andre raised his head, calmly, steadily. In that moment, he was no longer the defendant, no longer the accused. The truth was speaking now, and no one could silence it. The jury foreman stood. "Regarding the charges against Andre Miller, we find the defendant not guilty, unanimously." There was no applause. Because this wasn't a triumph. It was the delayed echo of justice finally heard. As Andre walked out past the cameras and microphones, he whispered only one thing. "The system didn't put me on trial. It tried to silence my color, then my voice. But the truth doesn't stay quiet." And with every step he took, he left behind not just a courtroom, but a scar reminding the world how easily justice can be stained.